Once, in a small, forgotten town nestled deep in the woods, there stood an old, decrepit mansion known as Blackwood Manor. The townsfolk whispered that the manor was haunted, its walls echoing with the tormented cries of those who had vanished within its shadowy halls. One crisp autumn evening, a group of four friends, Sarah, Mike, Emily, and Jake, decided to explore Blackwood Manor. They were thrill-seekers, drawn to the unknown, and had heard the legends of the manor's dark past. Clutching their flashlights, they ventured into the woods, their footsteps crunching on fallen leaves as the sun dipped below the horizon. The mansion loomed before them, its windows like empty eye sockets staring into the void. The door creaked ominously as they pushed it open, revealing a grand but decaying foyer. Dust motes danced in the beams of their flashlights, and the air was thick with the scent of mold and decay. As they ventured deeper into the manor, strange things began to happen. The temperature dropped suddenly, their breath visible in the frigid air. Faint whispers seemed to come from the walls, too soft to understand, but chilling nonetheless. In the grand ballroom, Emily found an old, tattered diary. As she opened it, a gust of wind blew through the room, extinguishing their flashlights. Plunged into darkness, they fumbled to turn them back on, and when the light returned, Emily was gone. Her friends called her name, their voices echoing through the empty halls, but there was no response. Panic set in as they searched for Emily, each room more eerie than the last. In the dusty attic, Mike found an old portrait of a family. The faces were faded, but he recognized Emily's features in the face of a young girl. Suddenly, a cold hand touched his shoulder. He spun around, but there was no one there. A sinister laugh echoed through the attic, sending shivers down his spine. Meanwhile, Sarah and Jake discovered a hidden staircase leading to the basement. The air grew colder with each step, and a sense of dread settled over them. In the dim light, they saw an ancient, wooden coffin in the center of the room. The lid was slightly ajar, and a low moan emanated from within. Gathering their courage, they lifted the lid. Inside, they found Emily, unconscious but alive. As they pulled her out, the coffin slammed shut with a deafening bang, and a spectral figure appeared before them. It was the ghost of a little girl, her eyes hollow and pleading. Through her ghostly whispers, they learned the tragic story of Blackwood Manor. The girl, named Lillian, had been the last of her family, trapped in the manor by a vengeful spirit that fed on fear. The spirit had taken Emily, hoping to trap her soul as well. Determined to escape, Sarah and Jake carried Emily up the stairs, the ghost of Lillian guiding them. The manor seemed to come alive, doors slamming, walls shaking, as the vengeful spirit tried to stop them. But with Lillian's help, they found their way to the front door and burst into the night, the haunting wails of the spirit fading behind them. As they reached the edge of the woods, Emily stirred and opened her eyes, confused but safe. The friends vowed never to return to Blackwood Manor, grateful to have escaped its clutches. But as they walked away, Sarah glanced back one last time. In the window of the attic, she saw the faint outline of Lillian, her face no longer hollow, but smiling, free at last. The friends never spoke of that night again, but they knew one thing for certain: Blackwood Manor was a place where the past and the present intertwined, where the living and the dead were bound together in an eternal dance of sorrow and fear. And though they had escaped, the memory of that haunted night would stay with them forever.